Hey, Ken. Mark
It isn't Mark Walters.
Yes, my lifelong friend.
How the hell are you?
How's it going, man?
What are we? We're Big Fanboy.
That's right.
.com.
That's right.
Sci-fi expert.
It's a very serious website.
What is Big Fanboy?
It's a website where we do like movie reviews, interviews. It's kind of like anecdotal news, only without all the pretentious fanboyishness. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I like
We're not
it.
recording, are we?
Ballsy.
My God.
Calling him out. I like it. Now wait a second. So, have you seen these movies? Have you seen the movies that I'm in?
I have not.
That I'm here promoting?
I have not yet.
You have not seen Diggers and you have not seen The 10?
I have not.
Do you know anything about them?
I know that Diggers is about some people in Long Island, New York that take a job as clam diggers.
Yeah, clam diggers on the South Shore of Long Island.
Right.
In 1976,
Right.
period piece. I have a big mustache.
Awesome.
Big side.
We're not filming yet, by the way. Do you want to save this?
It doesn't matter to me. We can do it either way.
Because this is good stuff.
All
I
right,
like
let's do
it.
it.
Hey, everybody. I'm standing here with Ken Marino, and he is in Diggers. And
Fanboy.com right here to my left.
yeah, that's right. Big
To your right, actually.
So, Ken, I think for starters, for people that don't know, tell everybody what a clam digger is, because there are people out there that probably have no idea.
Clam digger, really? Not everybody knows what a clam digger is?
Not everybody.
All right.
I mean, there may be some ideas.
I was being sarcastic, but it was so dry and so not funny that a clam digger is a guy who goes out on a boat and has a big rake and throws the rake into the water and digs the bay bottom of the water
Right.
at the bay bottom
Right.
in the water, and pulls up clams, and then he sells them.
Right.
And makes a living, or not,
Right.
which is what this movie's about.
Right. And it's a period piece.
It's a period piece. Yeah.
It takes place in 1976.
I got a big old mustache.
You got a big
and sideburns.
mustache.
Yeah.
Now,
And I'm
how
a clam digger.
How did this project come about?
I wrote it because my dad was a clam digger, and my grandfather's a clam digger. My uncle and different people I knew growing up on Long Island were clam diggers, and so it was kind of it started out as kind of in a way kind of a love letter to the town and place where I grew up, and a love letter to kind of my parents, and it became a little something different, but ultimately it's a movie kind of from my heart. Whereas The 10, which is tomorrow night, is I co-wrote that with David Wayne. You know David Wayne?
No.
He was on Stella.
Okay.
We were in
yeah.
the State together.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the state, too.
Yeah, we were in the State together, and he was on Stella, and he directed Wet Hot American Summer, and he and I wrote The 10, which is a big which is a big broad comedy, loosely based, 10 short stories loosely based on each one of the commandments.
Right.
And then all the characters kind of intertwine, the stories intertwine, and it's very different than Diggers. Diggers is a kind of a slice of life, character-driven dramedy, and The 10 is a ridiculous, absurd, raunchy, R-rated comedy.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be looking for both. They're giving me the "We've got to go" sign, and I'd really love to talk to you longer.
BigFanboy.com. I mean,
right. Are you endorsing?
is that? Well, no. I'm just saying. Like, you going to have people push you around? You're a big fanboy, for God's sakes.
Well, but I got to be nice.
All right. Why?
I don't know.
I just had one of those, and
One
I
of
cut
the
it off.
goatee things?
My wife told me to cut it off.
Oh yeah. Which you'd prefer to keep it though, right?
Well, I was enjoying it. I don't know why. You know what I like about it? It collects water when you wash your face. Like the water stays in your facial hair, which
Yeah.
is always fun.
It's kind of like a beaver. Wait a minute. Let's.
like a beaver.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you very
talking to you.
much. Take
Take
care.
care. I'm standing here with Katherine Dieckmann. She is the director of Diggers, and we just got done talking to Ken Marino. He was kind of filling us in on the film, and he was giving us sort of like an explanation of what a clam digger does.
He knows better than I do. Although I know now too, obviously, since I directed the movie. But
Now, how did you get attached to this project? Because Ken was talking about how this was something that he wrote as kind of, in a way, like a love letter to his father. So how did you come about getting attached to this?
I actually came into it kind of late in the game. Ken had developed the script with David Wayne, who also directed The 10.
Right.
And David was originally going to direct it. And then Comedy Central greenlit Stella, David's show, and they needed a director. And I literally read the script and directed it 2 months later, so it was very quick.
Yeah.
I loved the script when I read it, and I was really thrilled to be able to direct it.
Had you spent time in Long Island, New York?
Never.
Never?
No.
So that was all new to you?
It was, but to me, clam digging is like the backdrop, and what really was the center of the movie were these kind of emotional, comedic relationships between the characters, and that's what drew me to it.
How do you know when this guy's joking?
Right now, I mean, at this point, very well. But I've spent a lot of time with him.
Yeah. Now, this is a period piece. It takes place in 1976. What was it like trying to capture that moment in time?
Challenging because it's a low-budget movie, and we shot it in 21 days. And you know, you have to. It really forces you to be very specific about what you're looking at, because you can't show too much of the world if you don't have a big budget, because you can't recreate too much of the world. So it kind of creates its own aesthetic. But I love doing stuff like that. I'm like a total ferocious stickler for period accuracy, you know. And so I love doing that stuff. Or like even the sign way in the background is accurate, or you know, the phone, or all the props and it was great.
Now, how was the city of New York as far as cooperating with you on the film?
Great. I mean, we got a big tax rebate from shooting in the 5 boroughs. That's why we shot in Staten Island. The film was predominantly shot in Staten Island, not Long Island, partly because it's less gentrified, so it looks more like the 70s. It's easier to make the 70s. Long Island's more built up in a way now.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm a New Yorker, so I mean, for me it was great. I got to live at home and commute to the set every day. So it was.
So you drove home every day after you got done?
Or got driven, as the case may be, yes.
Nice.
But yeah, that was good.
Now, did you know a lot about that world of clam diggers before? Like, had you had any sort of experience with that?
None whatsoever. I mean, really, Ken was my guide, and Ken's parents. Ken's dad was a clam digger, and I went out and visited them on Long Island, and his dad and his cousin took us around on boats, and I saw all the equipment, and Ken had tracked down this amazing documentary, which is actually going to be a special feature on the DVD called Baymen, that sort of told the whole history of clam digging on Long Island. So I was very educated by the end. And all the guys went out and had clam digging lessons. Like
Nice.
Paul Rudd was out there with his rake learning how to, because it's very specific, the way you move and the things you do, and so they all had a little tutorial.
And what's coming up next for you?
I have a couple projects in the works, some as a writer, some as a director, some as a writer-director. I kind of straddle all those things. I have a project called The Shags, about this real-life cult rock band from the 60s, all-girl sister band.
Nice.
That is at Killer Films they're producing. And I have another movie that might go this summer that's a sort of a comedy, like Young Frankenstein meets Mean Girls. Very funny, Frankenstein in high school movie called The Grisby.
What was it called?
The Grisby.
I love it.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. It's juicy. So.
Very good. Well, we'll look for that. Thanks, Catherine. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your time in Dallas.
I will.